Yo, SNA fans, this is Super Ninja Austin here with another video. Like 7 hours later, we're gonna talk about more SNA podcasts, like talk about more stuff in the SNA podcast on November 15th, 2023. And this is the AEW Dynamite review part 14. And man, what a show. Like the perfect way to close out AEW like before Full Gear, which is the go home show, especially that main event match between Team Jericho and Omega against the Team Don Callis family. Like, man, if you haven't seen that match already, I would recommend you to watch it. It's very well invested to watch. But anyway, we're gonna start off with I believe Orange Cassidy and Hook taking on Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley and Willer Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. We're going to start off by recapping that match right here, right now. I believe it starts off with Orange Cassidy. Hook and but before the match even started, let me point out that they were brawling all around the ring. Like as soon as Jon Moxley and Willer Yuta got in there, and then this is where Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy took their fight into the audience, while Hook and Willer Yuta start off in the ring, and then Jon Moxley was bludgeoning punching Orange Cassidy to death onto the audience on the stairs, while Willer Yuta was fighting Hook and bringing some blows right onto Hook. He even body slammed him right onto his back and his lower spine, but he only got a 2 even count. This is where Jon Moxley got back into the ringside area to get ready to finish off Hook and get an easy victory to send a message to the international champion. But when Willer Yuta tried to pick up Hook, like right after he body slammed him and tried to pin him, this is where Hook went right from behind. This is where he grabs him from behind and twisted him and hit him with a gut wrench suplex, which is not a government but anyway, this is where he flips over Willer Yuta right onto his corner, which was Willer Yuta's own corner into the bottom right. This is where he tags in Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, like, all right, like time for me to teach this young fella a lesson here. And then this is where I don't know exactly what the lesson was. I'm not saying I would say he teaching him a lesson. Perhaps saying I'm gonna give him a brutal beatdown like I did to his best friend, Orange Cassidy, and no pun intended to the group name. But anyway, this is where they started yelling at each other right to the face, like, "Oh yeah, I hate you. You hate me. I hate you too. I see you try to do something about it." That's what Jon Moxley's looking at the Hook. Hook struck him with a forearm. He struck, and then he hit him with a German suplex after he struck him. This is where Hook try to go for a running clothesline. Jon Moxley kicks him right to the gut, of stopping him from doing any kind of splash maneuver. Slam him back first right onto the canvas. This is where he tags in Willer Yuta back into the match. Willer Yuta hits a middle drop kick right onto to Hook. This is where he drags in Hook, try to go for a pinfall, but this is where Hook can be able to kick out. This is where Willer Yuta was very pissed off. This is where he started hitting his fist right, nailing it right into the head of Hook. And that's where he tags in Jon Moxley. He hits a standing flipping suplex, something that Butch would do, like except he was still standing up. This is where he started talking trash right onto Orange Cassidy, saying like, oh, you still like hurting, or your little arm has a boo-boo? That's too bad. It's gonna be worse than that at this Saturday's event. I'm like, I was looking like, I hope that's not a death threat attempt to Orange Cassidy. Even so, like, I don't see what's his point on that. Like it could be worse than that, but I'm not sure if Orange Cassidy gives in, even if he has an injury. And it looks like the only way he'll drop the title if he had to relinquish it. But anyway, this is where Jon Moxley picks up Hook. This is where he tried to go for a running clothesline right towards Hook, but Hook ducks. This is where he tried to go for the Red Room, the Red Room trying to choke Jon Moxley out. But this is where Wheeler Yuta tags himself in the match and slams him right into the former Bears in the bottom side, in the ringside area where the Blackpool Combat Club's corner was at. This is where Orange Cassidy hits a crossbody, hitting his former best friend teammate, and start hitting right fist right onto Wheeler Yuta. This is where Jon Moxley tried to come in and help his Blackpool Combat Club ally, but he gets ran right into the barricade. And this is where he throws Jon Moxley back into the ring. This is where he gets T-Bone suplex by Hook, his son. My bad. This is where he tags in Orange Cassidy. He hits a flying tornado DDT. Orange Cassidy started hitting those barely touchable kicks, like right into Jon Moxley's chest. Fans were chanting, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" But he's barely tapping his shoulder and his chest. And then that's when he started kicking and stomping onto his chest, like with Jon Moxley double knees down, standing up, and he was not feeling a thing. It felt like it's like if he not even phased by it, even if he hit his hardest than what he was doing to Moxley. And this was like, come on, stay down, Mox. Like, no time for fun and games. Like, I want you to stay down, John. And then this is where Orange Cassidy. All right, I warn you. Like, I'm gonna try to do my biggest kick yet, but this is where Jon Moxley is where he picks him up in the air. This is where he tried to go for the rolling DDT, but this is where Wheeler Yuta took an advantage, got tagged in by Mox. Jon Moxley had him in the spine buster position, and he clotheslined him after he knocks down Hook. This is where Jon Moxley goes for a pin, but he only gets answered with a 2.6 second count. This is where he does this dragon. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to go for a dragon screw, but as soon as he do so, this is where Jon Moxley tags in. Jon Moxley tags in Wheeler Yuta, and he hits a huge, massive leg drop right onto Orange Cassidy, and then also. And this is where he also tagged Jon Moxley back in. This is where he puts Orange Cassidy right on the top rope, hitting the axe handles and raking the back and biting the head of Orange Cassidy. This is where he tried to go for a suplex, which he did so, but he only got a 2 count. And this is where he tried to go for the dragon headlock. This is where Jon Moxley trying to figure out what he needs to do to take out the current international champion and longest reigning champion. This is where Jon Moxley trying to mock him and take a page out of his playbook. So start kicking, doing those soft kicks that barely even you could barely feel a thing. This is where Jon Moxley's like, come on, I thought you were a tough guy. I thought you were our international champion. Like, come on, it don't seem like you're any champion of this company. This is where Orange Cassidy was slowly but surely getting back up. He was like, yeah, okay, I'm very. He started realizing when he kicks him the last time, like that was very phaseable, but he didn't seem very phased. He just looks very provoked, and he was like, all right, you asked for it, Mox. This is where Orange Cassidy was like, the gloves gets in the pockets. And so he did so. This is where Jon Moxley's like, okay, this is my chance of taking advantage of this idiotic childish games. This is where he tried to run and try to go for a monstrous clothesline, but he gets instantly intercepted into a drop kick, like a middle missile drop kick. This is where he knocks Jon Moxley down. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to go for a kip up, but this is where he couldn't do it because his ribs was bothering him. This is where he started crawling right to Hook. This is where he tags in Hook. This is where John Moxley tags in Wheeler Yuta, which both men were hitting forearm strikes to one another respectively, which everybody was after. Everybody was cheering for Hook, and the other half is booing for Wheeler Yuta. This where it's like, yeah, boo, boo, all echoing around the arena when they start continuously doing it like a dozen more times. And this is where Hook start continuously, repeatedly hitting strikes back to back, but still Hook was. And then Hook finally got the offense, hit a headbutt right onto Wheeler Yuta. This is where he goes for a hip suplex right onto Yuta, but he only got a 1-2 ooh, which was like 2.7 count. This is where John Moxley got back up onto the apron, like in his corner, but instantly got hit back down by Hook. This is where Hook tried to, try to finish off Wheeler Yuta, but this is where he counters and put his hands apart. And it was the most deadliest chops in tonight's episode of Dynamite, which I was like, don't tell me like Wheeler Yuta too. Like he's next into the envy list of Gunther. I was like, I pray that he does not face Gunther anytime soon or any time in this into his rest of his wrestling career, because Gunther might murk him for a cause of enviness. But anyway, this is where Hook hits a striking forearm. Like I believe that Hook was trying to knock some sense out of Wheeler Yuta, because no one does not do that and get away with the mockery of the ring general. This is where Wheeler Yuta hit the German suplex right onto German suplex on the Hook, like when he did sliding rebound when he got hit with a forearm by Hook. This is where Hook hits a German suplex on its own, respectively. Anyway, this is where Wheeler Yuta goes for the elbow strike. I believe it was Wheeler Yuta, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm right. It was a rolling elbow strike. This is where both men clothesline each other into a double clothesline situation. Both men were down. This is where they try to get up, but referee started his double count. Both men on the ground until both men got back up by the count of 7, I guess. John Moxley hits a blindsided shove tackle right onto Hook, like when both men, as soon as they got back up. This is where Orange Cassidy was more pissed off. He spears John Moxley outside the ring and beat whatever's left of the Cincinnati hardcore brawler. This is where Wheeler Yuta tried to go for his finishing move, the grip of Yuta. This is where he gets rolled up in the most devastating move in all sports entertainment surprise world with a 2.9 count. Hook hits a most powerful clothesline I ever seen in pro wrestling. This is where Hook's like, yeah, back in my game. And everybody chanting like, Hook, red rum, red rum. This is where he tried to go for a red rum, but he gets instantly attacked by John Moxley. And this is where Orange Cassidy hits the orange punch on John Moxley. John Moxley like, he just really punched me. Like, I bring it on. I'm like, if this was me, I would have moved out of the way before he had a chance to attempt to do the punch if it was me, like on Fight Forever, for an example. But anyway, this is where he tried to go for the move that I always counters out of, which was the orange punch. But anyway, like, which is the most reversible move for me in all of sports entertainment / pro wrestling? And this is where John Moxley hits a striking punch on his own, respectively, after Orange Cassidy did that. This is where Hook tried to go for the red room right onto John Moxley. Like, this is where he tried. This is where he tried to go. This is where he tried to run run a hook right onto his tag partner Willa Yuta, but actually Spears, if it was an accident or intentionally, put his shoulder right to the midsection of Willa Yuta, like just to get the perfect distraction. This is where John Moxley hits the Death Rider after with that distraction. This is where Willa Yuta goes for his going for his roll up to get the 1-2-3, giving Hook this second loss of his career. I was like, wow. I would expect. I knew that the Blackpool Combat Club's Willa Yuta and John Moxley would get a pinfall victory. I would expect it to be Orange Cassidy, like not Hook. Like wow, like even though he did lost, it's not that much of a shock. But I thought it would probably be in a one-on-one match of whenever the FTW championship gets fully retired on AEW. But yeah, we got Yuta and John Moxley won in the most unexpected ways. Like, but yeah, it shows that it's the message sent by John Moxley, like of him still wanting his rematch for the AEW not TNT, the other mid card champion, the international championship. And do you think he's gonna win back the international championship, or do you think Orange Cassidy's gonna retain and start a new reigning defending reign is the international champion? Let me know in the comments below. Well, up next we got but yeah, by the way, that match was second match of the night, like which of course the pre-main event match with Team Jericho and Omega against Don Callis family's number one for sure. But anyway, we're gonna move on. We got a face-to-face segment between up next. We got a face-to-face segment between Swerve Strickland and Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, and with a special rule saying neither man cannot attack the other, the latter even I should say, or else the match between the two will be canceled at Full Gear. And also they'll be suspended. They'll also be suspended from AEW for the remainder of 2023, and then we'll be back to the beginning of 2024. But luckily, spoiler alert, that did not happen. Like, yeah, there was some little bit of altercations, but it wasn't like specifically Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. But anyway, and this is where Swerve Strickland enters the ring with Prince Nana, but he's doing the cowboy dance and the Swerve When I Drive dance. Like, but yeah, this when Hangman Adam Page came in, is where he went face to face. He's like not playing around. It was like I'm not enough with the nonsense. Like I want you face to face right here, right now. And he was like, this is what Swerve Strickland was like. He was like, well, like, why are you looking at staring at me for? Why don't you look at Siobhan? This is where, like, that's why we're here. Thanks to this short, fat commentary guy. Well, he didn't say all that, but I'm saying he would say something evil, like, regardless, whether if it's specifically that word or not. Like, which you probably use an innocent, insulting word. But this is where Tony Schiavone was like, and he was like, and you swear, like, hey, Swerve Strickland, how is it for going going to another man's house? And then this is where Swerve Strickland was like, snatched the microphone right out of Tony Schiavone's hand. That's where he was about to speak, but before he can have any word to say out of his mouth, this is where Hangman Adam Page like, oh yeah, okay, like I got something to say to him. Like I got some sort of questions for you, Swerve. Like, why does Swerve go into my house? Because you are a total coward, Swerve. You are a fraud. You're a phony, even. And he's like, you are a worthless human life, and and you're the greatest dumbass, and that you are dumber than you were 2 years ago when you were dumbass when you got fired. And fans was chanting, "Oh," because him and Hit Row got released back in this month around this time of the year in 2021 when he got fired over to WWE, and he's been on AEW ever since, like since the beginning of 2022. But anyways, Hitler Swerve Strickland then took this lightly, so he was started giving them the death stare. Like he's like, "You're lucky that Tony Khan ordered us not to attack, or else I would be killing you right now. But I'm gonna save it for 3 days from now." I'm like, I hope you can keep on your word with that, Swerve. But this is where Hangman Adam Page was like, "You told me 2 months ago that you want to be AEW World Champion, and that you are the kind of man that need." You want to be everything who I already was and who I am today. And he's like, and now but from since then you no longer have it in you. And it's and then this is where Hangman Page like, you can't cut it. Like you are not the man yet that you think you are, and that and then she was like, and it's the reason why your fiance left you, and also, that's where your fiance left, and then. That's right. Yeah, that's what he said. Like, obviously, he's like you're like that's why your fiance left you, and that's why your kids do not want to talk to you. And that he made this more personal. Like, I don't think Hangman Adam Page learned a thing or two from Seth freaking Rollins because like he's like just look at what he said that to Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle meant his words, saying like he's not just gonna beat him, he's gonna f him up, and that's what it looks like what Swerve Strickland was looking like when Hangman Adam Page said that about his kids do not want to talk to him and see him ever again. But also, I was like, I'll be careful and I'll be prepared, like on what Swerve Strickland's gonna bring into this match. But until like when you have the spare time of training, like in a kayfabe perspective. But anyway, this is where Hangman Adam Page also said, like when Swerve Strickland was nearly holding himself, nearly not, I like when he was nearly trying to avoid to attack a Hangman Adam Page, but like what Hangman Adam Page was telling him and basically insulting him because that's what Swerve was kind of been doing, especially when he broke into his house, and that made Hangman like double insane. Yeah. But anyways, this is where Hangman Page you listen to me while I say this, that you want to make this personal, huh? Like you talking about you want to make this a personal battle, and I Swerve, you are a total coward. You know. Like you don't surround yourself with family and friends, Swerve. Like you, like, and he's like you surround yourself with yes men, just like you, like the Gates of Agony with Brian Cage and to, and told Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. That's right. Yeah. But anyway, he's like you. And he's like, and you're a dumbass for believing what everything Prince Nana said because Prince Nana's really using you. I was like, hopefully he didn't spend that was worth Strickland $600 they spent onto the Uber drive. Jokingly speaking, of course, just a joke, but seriously. Like, but anyways, this is where fans like, oh, I was like, yeah, he could have a point about Prince Nana. He's like, and he pointed out that the reason why he comes out with you because he want to do his funny little dance, getting that attention because you have a catchy theme song, and he sell your T-shirts with him doing the pose of the dance move, and that's when Prince Nana started doing the dance, like right in front of the fans' faces after he said that the Hangman Adam Page, like just to get a pop from the crowd. This is where Hangman Adam Page like, it's Swerve, Prince Nana. What did Hangman Adam Page say? He's like, and he also says, he also sells T-shirts with the dance move, and he's like, and Swerve, like Prince Nana he basically makes you living off of your back. And he's like, when the show's over, he goes to a hotel parking lot and he spends living with that like like getting weed from a high school kid. And the fans like oh, and they started and start chanting like he's like, wow, not cheering with wolves, like, whoa, like he really just say that, and Tony Khan's allowing him to say this, even though it wouldn't be that inappropriate of saying using not that inappropriate of saying the F-bomb or saying anything inappropriate, like some kind of something that's not family friendly. That's way too far, of course. This is what Hangman Adam Page was like. And he was like, and I'm gonna beat you, and I'm gonna beat your, and he was like, I'm gonna beat your ass, Swerve, and steal your weed, Nana. He was saying that on national television, and then this is where Prince Nana acted like some kind of a weed head or pothead, I should say. Like when somebody tried to insult him and his little green stuff, cannabis, he started yelling at what's the Hangman Adam Page? You will not do such a thing. You'll never steal it. You never will. Like if he's some kind of a drug addict African prince of some sort, like the way he was looking at with the death stare, like if he was insulted with his drug habits. But I'm not sure if he's on some drugs. Like maybe he is. That explains that Swerve when he drives dance. And that's when the fans start chanting, steal his weed, steal his weed. All you're really chanting this right now? Fans, you're really supporting Hangman Adam Page to steal his little cannabis? Why would you encourage Hangman Adam Page to do that? I didn't know Hangman Adam Page smokes it. Wow. I would expect that someone let's see. Maybe I would expect Swerve and Prince Nana would do that, and also who else would do them puff pass? And I would say, I'll say even Jericho. I'll say Jericho. I would say who else? There was a Jericho, and who else that I can name? Even JR, Jim Ross. I believe Jim Ross and Chris Jericho and a couple other people that's on there, whether if it's commentators or wrestlers do it, and even MJF, I would expect that MJF would do it, but I wouldn't expect Heyman Adam Page would go there for. He looked like a clean dude that only drinks. But anyways, this is where he's like, you look at me, Swerve, you look at me like a man, you're not the man you think you are, you're not the man you think you are, you are nothing but a child. And he's like, I work with kids for a long time, and I teach them a whole lot of lessons, I'm about to do this Saturday, and And this is where it's and at this Saturday, I will teach you a lesson about your pathetic ass life. And then this is where it was straight up to face to face. He was like, you, Swerve, you should have never, ever come into my house because we don't need no lawyers. We don't need no cops because at Full Gear, I am going to be your judge and your jury and your executioner. And then he's like, and I'm going to take you to spend an eternity in Swerve's house at the bottom of hell. And then this is where it looked like it was about to leave, but instead, he hit the strike right onto Prince Nana, just to send Swerve Strick on the preview because he was not supposed to get physical. But, before he did that, this is where fans start chanting Cowboy Shib, or should I say Cowboy Sugar Honey Iced Tea repeatedly. This is where Hangman Adam Page grabs the microphone and it looked like he was about to say, and he was like, and Swerve, there's one less thing. He was like, the tonight's stipulation about we can't lay a hand on you and same goes to you. And it was like, but Prince Nana, but Prince Nana, that have nothing. I don't have no sugar honey iced tea, anything to do with us. And he hits a right hand right onto right on to Prince Nana, hit the right hand, start attacking, beat the absolute daylights out of Prince Nana, with everybody commentator was continuously to laugh, like, because it looked like it looked like a very pissed off bodybuilder beating up a homeless man. and also, like, earlier they were laughing. Also, I want to point out they were snickering and chuckling. I'll say snickering away of what Hangman Adam Page said about Prince Nana about looking like a guy that buys weed from a teenager, and then he's gonna steal that weed from me. And then Prince Nana getting pissed off about it. And then this is where the security started grabbing onto Hangman Adam Page, hitting knuckle sandwiches right on to security guards. This is where Hangman Adam Page tried to go after Swerve Strickland, chasing them out of the ring. This is where one security guard tried to grab on Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page was like, get your hands off of me. Hit a striking right hand right into the face of the security guard. This is where he hits a buckshot Larry to send a message right on, like, this Swerve Strickland's like, I may not put my single finger right on you, Swerve, but I'm gonna put several of those fingers right on, like balling them up into a unit and start beating the daylights out of you, like, as soon as I get into the ring in this Texas death match. He's like, you're gonna be a dead man, like, Swerve, like, for breaking in my house, like trying to get my family involved into this, like, and I'm thinking you're a man. You think you're a main eventer? I just think you're just a scared little cowardly little boy. That's what he's looking like at him. But this is where we got a backstage interview with Lexi, with Roderick Strong doing another video call through the TV with Adam Cole on the screen. Here's where he's like, hey, Adam, how you doing? And he was like, I know who the devil is, and that's your best friend. Like, and I'm sure 100% it's definitely Max. And this is where Adam Cole's like, no, Roddy, stop. Like, stop sounding like an idiot right now. Like, how you know if it is right? Like, and he was like, I got so much going on after I got my surgery on my ankle, and I'm getting very tired of hearing this. Like, Max is not guilty. He is not the devil. Like, I don't know what accusations you're throwing around here, like, but he's definitely not the devil. Like, and this is where the Kingdom and Roderick Strong's like, no, Adam, like, Adam, what are you talking about? Roddy's like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't know. You're doing too, like obviously you're not around here to witness it yourself, Adam. And I was like, what do you know about witnessing anything around here? Like, you don't even know who the devil, someone is under the devil mask. Like, how you know if it's MJF if he admitted that someone stole his devil mask and him and his goons attacked, like, the likes of Jay White and the Acclaim. Like, how he could be there when he was in the ring? Like, when the devil's goons, the mystery and devil mask guy and his goons, his goons attacked the Acclaim, and he got on the screen on the Titantron. If that was Maxwell Jacob Freeman, like, how could be at two places at once? Like, he has plenty of alibis and had plenty of reasons why that wasn't him. But anyways, I'm telling you, like, he's like, on my life and on your life too, Adam. He is the devil. Like, I can guarantee it to you, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this and prove it. And Adam Cole was like, all right, Roddy, like, whatever you say, like, I had to get going, bye-bye. And this was like, Adam. I was like, when will he learn? Like, it's not, like, shouting his name on the TV screen is not going to get him back. Like, he's permanently hung up. This is where he was like, come here, Lexi, like, bring the microphone to me. Like, Adam Cole do not know exactly what he's talking about here. Like, he's just so delusional and being brainwashed by the salt of the earth. We got to show him and prove that MJF's not the man he think he is. But I think he is that man, because thanks to him he had plenty of opportunities to turn on Adam Cole, but he didn't do so because Adam Cole showed that the true meaning of friendship to him, and that's what made him change. But anyways, and who he thinks that's under the mask, y'all let me know down in the comments below. Some say it could be the returning Jack Perry. Some say it could be the returning Adam Cole, but I don't think it could be because he's still at home, like recovering his leg injury. So I think it's gonna be either Jack Perry or even the other rumor to be in the Bastard Pack, making his long-awaited return since the Wembley Stadium show at All In, I believe. That's the last time he made an appearance on AEW. But this is where Sky Blue getting ready for her match against Red Velvet in the number 1 contender spot. Who's going to get the third participant spot for the three-way triple threat TBS championship match, which Sky Blue grabbed onto to Red Velvet. It was blue versus red, I should say. The battle of the colors, on which color's better. Is it red or is it blue? Well, to me, it's purple. Mix red and blue together, and this is what you get. The flapping, flurry purple. But anyways, this is where Sky Blue got Red Velvet right to a headlock. This is where she twist back to belly maneuver. This is where Red Velvet did the back to belly to try to go for a maneuver right onto her. This is where Sky Blue hang on to her. This is where Red Velvet hangs onto the ropes onto the left side. Flips Sky Blue out in a backflip. This is where we saw a backstage. We saw Chris Statlander backstage watching the match onto the backstage studio TV. This is where Sky Blue hits an arm drag right on the Red Velvet. This is where Red Velvet hits a headlock slam. This is where Sky Blue tried to go for another arm drag, but Red Velvet was ready. She's been back and hang on to Sky Blue's arm. Like, this is where she was on kneeling down on her right leg down and her left knee up, like saying like nope, like not today, honey. This is where she looks dead. Look at Sky Blue dead in the face. She was like, "You think you're so slick and so smart, like, but like two could play this mind games." This is where Sky Blue finally Irish whips Red Velvet right to the right side. This is where she ducks when she was coming towards her way, and then she went. And this is where she tried to go for a leapfrog, but she instantly gets tripped over when she jumped right in midair, and she landed back first. This is where Red Velvet hits a standing shining moonsault right onto Sky Blue, but only got a 1-2 ooh. This is where Red Velvet grabbed her and put her towards, slams her face right onto the right side turnbuckle, hitting right hands back and forth right into the midsection of Sky Blue. This is where Red Velvet's like, like. She thinks I'm something to play with. She kicks her right into the bottom right corner into the bottom rope. This is where she started booting her right into the face. And this is where she started doing the splits position, hanging on to the ropes between the inner and outside of the ring and to the near the apron. This is where Red Velvet hits the snapmare away from the corner. This is where she runs right to the left ropes and hits a missile drop kick, but only got a 2.7 count. And then this is where Sky Blue throws Red Velvet on the outside. This is where Sky Blue tried to Irish whip her right into the symbol to steel steps. But this is where Red Velvet picks her off. But when she tried to grab onto her, she gets flapjacked by Sky Blue anyways, right with the symbol to steel steps. But this is where she brought her back into the ring. This is where Red Velvet tried to go for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, to surprise roll-up on Sky Blue. Sky Blue hits her version of the roll-up, but she only got a 1 even count. This is where both women were getting 1 even counts when they're going back and forth. Like with Red Velvet doing the arms around the legs of Sky Blue, 1 even count. This is where Sky Blue flips over into a sit-out roll-up, but she only got 1, 2. This is where she got a sit-in roll-up, which they got 1, and then Sky Blue back to sit-out, and then back sit-up. This is where they start doing it like 10 times in a row, like if it was TNA all over again. This is where, until finally, it ended with Red Velvet was doing a sit-in roll-up, which she kicks out at 2 even. This is where they both hit a frontward roundhouse kick on both of their heads, respectively. They're both on the ground. This is where the referee started his 10 warning double opponent's down count. This is where Red Velvet tried to go for a running maneuver, attacking maneuver when Sky Blue was face and throat right on to the middle ropes. This is where Sky Blue hits her with a wheelbarrow face buster, but Sky Blue kicks up shoulders and torso up for the 2.9 count at the last second. The full Nelson face buster. I mean the full Nelson sideways face buster looked like a sideways version of the skull crushing finale. But anyway, this is where Red Velvet hits the spinning kick right onto Sky Blue. She picks her up for a pin like a roll up, but she only got a 1-2.999999999 count because Sky Blue kicks out like negative 0.1 away from being 3. But this is where Red Velvet was not giving up just yet. This is where she goes. This is where she Irish whips Sky Blue right into the bottom right side of the Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where she gets kneed right into the face when she runs right up to Sky Blue. Sky goes right up in the mid ropes. This is where Red Velvet hit the striking right. This is where she goes right up on the top rope. This is where she starts hitting striking right hands right into the face of Sky Blue. This is where she shushed the absolute silence out, the absolute I should say sound effects out of Sky Blue and hits the most loudest chops. Like luckily she's a female, or else she would have gotten added to Gunther's list. And but this is where she hit it so hard. I'm surprised she didn't left a whiplash right onto what's her name to Sky Blue. Yeah, that's her name, Sky Blue. And that'll possibly make Bianca Belair do a what's called a whiplash envy list, like if she was the female version of Gunther. But I don't think she will do that because she's the nicest right now. And until get it, like she's the EST, she's also the nicest. But at the same time, she could be the meanest, like when she's the dark side, like when she joins the dark side alongside her husband in it. But anyway, this is where Red Velvet hits a wheelbarrow slam right off the top rope, slamming Sky Blue like right into the canvas. This is where it looked like she was out for the count, but unfortunately, she was just probably playing possum to Red Velvet because she kicks out at right before 3, like at 2.99999 double triple nine, like negative 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Red Velvet tried to go for the scissors leg up into the back of the head slam like a playmaker. But this is where Sky Blue flips her over to an arm drag, hits her with a stepping super kick. This thrust kick. This is where Sky Blue picks her up. This is where she runs right onto the try to hit her cold blue finishing maneuver, but she gets caught in an interception with a super kick by the woman from her mama's kitchen. This is where she runs and she kicks her double knees to the ground, try to go for the corkscrew kick that she beat Ruby Soho with from this past Friday. This is where Sky Blue kicks her right into the face like a certain blue female wrestler. This is where she goes for the wheelbarrow, not wheelbarrow. She goes for a finishing move, which barely had some kind of an impact on it. It looked like more like a surprise roll up rather than a most brutaling and most I would say the most brutaling and the most hardest hitting move in all of sports entertainment / pro wrestling. But she hit the cold blue. She got the 1, 2, 3. It was she was overselling because there's no way she could get hit that hard enough for her to get KO'd. But Sky Blue declared the winner, and she's gonna be the third participant in this 3-way TBS championship match. And and I'll say it again, like I believe Sky Blue's going to win this match, and the way she's going to do it is by doing the most dirtiest trick in all of sports entertainment, which spit the blue or black mist, whatever the color of the mist could possibly be. Either way, it's going to be a guaranteed heel turn. She's going to spit it onto Chris Statlander's eyes when Chris Statlander thought she when she have Julia Hart down and out, like with the Saturday Night Fever, which it is going to be Saturday night, and then Sky Blue will hit her finishing move, the Cold Blue, for the 1-2-3. But what y'all think what's exactly gonna happen? Sound off in the comments below. I'd like to hear y'all's opinions about y'all's prediction of this Saturday's event. But yeah, Chris Statlander was looking backstage. She was like, I shouldn't have known it's gonna be her. Like, and I'm gonna have so much to worry about because she don't trust me, and some tells me I don't trust her. Like, I was like, yeah, keep it like that, Chris Statlander. Like, because be prepared, even though she is with the predetermined, like whether it being predetermined, which I'm not trying to spoil that for you guys, but it's just a prediction. It may not happen. It's just my fantasy booking. But this is where we got a vignette of Miro challenging Daniel Garcia. And then this is where Miro's like, what I said what happened has come true. I was like, you're right about that, but it's because you ran your wife away. And you made her want to manage other manage other men wrestlers other than you, because she tried to be your manager, but you push her. And this where it's like, I love that woman, but she's bringing in the storm. And then he said, and she wants gold, like, and fortune, and all these things that drag her under, like, for years, like, it's like I still let her do whatever she wants. I was like, yeah, that explains why she was in that on-screen relationship with Dolph Ziggler, and she nearly got into an on-screen relationship with his brother. But that's a story for another day. And that was just a joke, just to add some entertaining skits into this video. But anyway, we're gonna get more serious now. He was like, my eyes been on her for a while. The truth is, the CJ does not bring the worst in us. She don't bring the worst out of herself. Like, she brings the worst out of me too. And at Collision, Daniel Garcia. He's like, and this Saturday at Collision, Daniel Garcia is gonna figure that one out, like more than anybody else ever will, like, because I am the worst that could be. I could be the worst one than hell could ever be. And he's like, you will be dancing in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna be resting peacefully. I was like, you can't be giving out death threats because he's hitting on your wife, doing that this personal dance move that he does. Like, that's the crime. That's like probably the second, if not the third, crime encounter of the night. But anyways, we're gonna continue with the. He's like, I am your death god, and I am your redeemer, and this is the or this is the redeemer. That's what he said, whatever that means. But the point is, he challenged Danny Garcia in a one-on-one match to show why he should never hit on his hot and flexible wife. And obviously, we know what's the answer of this prediction. We're just gonna leave it like it is, and you can even talk about that in the comment section down below. Even if you disagree, just sound it off in the comments. I would read it onto my YouTube page. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the next match or segment, which was Samoa Joe, and this was a squash match, like the first number one squash match of the night, and he was taking on this enhancement talent, which this match didn't even last for 5 minutes, because as soon as Samoa Joe started spinning around, getting ready to fight this jobber that looked like a AEW Dark regular, this is where he tried to grapple on him, try to show that trying to get the better of Samoa Joe, but it seemed like Samoa Joe already got the better of him just by not buying his hits and grapples onto him. This is where he started kicking onto the leg, trying to test Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe keeps shin blocking his shin, trying to do a shin kick onto his legs. Every time he tried to do it, he start getting ready to it was ready, but every time he tried to go for a kick, this is where this guy tried to run right to the left side, trying to run right to Samoa Joe, but gets hit with a big boot. This is where Samoa Joe hit the striking right hand, started doing so, like hitting right hands by the top of the head to the midsection, started hitting backs and forths, lefts and rights right into the midsection of this guy. Started punching the absolute hell out of this poor man. And I was like, do you really have to put him against someone like a Samoa Joe? Like, even though you got to get something Samoa Joe to do, but he should actually wrestle somebody that's kind of competition, but still Samoa Joe could still bring down and beat for the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, this is where Samoa Joe puts him right into the bottom left corner, hits him with the running hip attack, and the step up Instakiri. And then this is where Samoa Joe, this is gonna be another easy win for me. Like, I'll be done less than 30 seconds. This is where he Irish whips. This is where he tries to Irish whip this guy. This is where he moves out of the way, like ducks. This is where the only offense or defense that he brought into the match. This is where he tried to go for a diving, I guess, a headbutt splash, which is probably the proving deadliest move in all of sports entertainment. But Samoa Joe did the most smartest move in all sports entertainment, no selling yet. And then the smartest maneuver, I should say, in all sports entertainment, no selling. This is where Samoa Joe goes for the running clothesline to hell. This is where he got leveled. This is where he went for the Kokita clutch, which made him tap out for the victory by submission. Like, and putting the offer on the table for Maxwell. Like, after winning the match in the process. And do you think he's gonna be the mystery tag partner of MJF? With MJF against the Guns to try to retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Sound off in the comments about that as well. But this is where Samoa Joe went on the microphone and said, "My name is Samoa Joe," and he was like, yeah. And then the fans are chanting, Joe, 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 Joe. And then this is where he continues to cut the promo, saying, I came from Southern California. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right, because they are in California tonight. And he is from there. That's his home state, even though he's from Huntington Beach. But I believe they're already in L.A. or Oakland. Either way, they're like only just a few dozen miles away from his home, town, which they're in either LA or Oakland, which I believe they're in LA, because this Saturday Full Gear is going to be in Los Angeles, at Los Angeles. But anyway, this is where fans start cheering all around the arena. This is where Samoa Joe was like, so MJF, like featuring in my hood, like I extend my offer of friendship for you, Maxwell. The fans start cheering more, like, yeah, this should be the case. And this is where Samoa Joe's like, he's like, the time is only limited right now, Max. Like, so take this offer while you have the chance to, because whenever you have mine, friendship or not, I'm in Samoa Joe. And he's like, and I in the editable, yeah. Dropping the mic, like walking out of the arena, like, which it could possibly be a guarantee that he could be getting an opportunity, whether if he offers the friendship from the Samoan submission machine, which it looks like he's probably going to have no choice for the sake of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. You got to have a tag partner, at least a temporary replacement until Adam Cole comes back from his injuries. But this is where we show the recap of last week's announcement with the the Continental Classic, which is gonna start like next week and is gonna end at the end of December within their in their, what's that pay-per-view called? World's End, I think it's called. It's gonna end at AEW's pay-per-view, which is gonna be in December of the. With Bryan Danielson announced himself being in the first entrance against whoever's going to be in the first round, and which it could be any wrestler, best wrestlers in the world that will show their talent and win this continental classic tournament. Because I'll be ready for you. I am going to be ready. Like, despite having this minor injury, nothing's not going to slow me down of being the first ever winner of this tournament, which we'll have that. And do you think Bryan Danielson will have it all the way, or is it going to be somebody else entirely different? Sound off in the comments. Perhaps it could be somebody that defeats him either in the first or second round, or even the first round, the second semifinals round, or even the finals. But I say it could be either them or it could be Bryan Danielson. My prediction, I suppose. But anyways, this is where we have Penta and LZO Miedo and Commander taking on the Young Bucks. And then I'd say perhaps this was probably the third match of the night for telling another story with the Young Bucks being the jealous friends of Kenny Omega because he's teaming with him instead of teaming with them, and that's why they're gonna have this dream tag match from 3 days from now, this coming Saturday night. But they were perhaps acting like their recent usual selves. It seems like they were in a dark hillside of things during this match, like at least towards the end of the match. But the rest of the match was just two normal, typical baby faces fighting and tagging match of the honor of the scheduled weekly televised of this televised match. But we kind of got a little pop from the Young Bucks because they were in their hometown in Los Angeles, and their parents was there, like, watching the match. This is where we had Commander, I believe, Irish Whip Nick Jackson doing the flips. Ducks and leapfrogs, which what's his name flips over like right after when Commander tried to go for a running attack. He does a slapping push Irish whip right onto Commander when he tried to run and attack Nick Jackson. But this is where he gets hit with a right slap, which was very massive. This is where Commander goes for a rolling corkscrew wheelbarrow arm drag plus some kind of a Uranagi slam afterwards. This is where Nick Jackson Irish whips Commander right onto the right side, which Penta tags himself in this. I'm not sure if Nick Jackson noticed, but he know that Matt Jackson was going to tag himself in when he run right into his corner, right on the top ropes, the top side ropes, I should say. And this is where he goes for a cartwheel moonsault, but this is where Commander moves out of the way, but instantly gets body slammed by Commander. Commander gets dropkicked by Nick. Nick Jackson. This is where Penta goes for a attack to Matt Jackson. This is where Matt Jackson attacks Penta, but Penta move out of the way. Nearly got rolling senton by Commander, but smartly and luckily, Matt Jackson moves right out of the way. This is where all four men start facing each other, going punching right into each other until both Nick and Matt Jackson hits a pump kick to both Commander and Penta. With both four men hit the kip up when they fell down flat into the ring canvas. This was start arguing at each other, though, but they're like, but we gotta admit you did pretty well in that kip up. And then they saying the same thing like if it was Looney Tunes when they were admitting their performance. Like even though they're in a disagreement fight right now, this is where they handshake each other because they are respectable baby faces. This is where afterwards, before it looks like Nick Jackson was about to leave after he handshake, what's his name, Commander, while his brother Matt Jackson was handshaking Penta. They hit a double super kick on both men, right in their face, with out of nowhere, like what they were least expecting. This is where both Penta and Commander rolled out of the ring. This is where both Nick and Matt Jackson handshake each other like if they were Bugs Bunny characters from Looney Tunes. They're like, yeah, like I respect you. Like, yeah, I respect you too. Like looking like those Gophers. I forget their names, the Gopher brothers, which I'll say I'm gonna start calling them the Gopher brothers of AEW, of course. This is where Matt Jackson started clapping each other, like right on the outside. This is where they try to go for a diving crossbody, which both Penta and Commander were prepared. But this is where Matt Jackson was also prepared. He landed right on the apron. This is where Matt Jackson hits a diving corkscrew splash right onto Penta. And this is where he throws him back in the ring. This is where Matt Jackson started hand-fiving the fans. This is where Penta was right on the bottom left side. This is where he tried to run right towards Matt Jackson. This is where he gets caught with a super. I mean, this is where Matt Jackson tried to get Penta. This is where he gets caught with a super kick right onto Matt Jackson, giving him a taste of his own medicine from earlier. This was like, come here, like I'm already ready for you. This is where he flips Matt Jackson over. He kicks him with a mid-air super kick with Matt Jackson hanging on the top ropes on the bottom left corner. This is where he tags in Commander. This is where Commander took control of this. This is where he was hanging on to him with the ropes. This is where they slingshot him right on, like slingshot Commander right onto Matt Jackson, looking like a springboard crossbody, which is the OMG most comeback move in 2023 sports entertainment / pro wrestling. But Matt Jackson came back and he was twisting Commander's arm. This is where he tried to go for an attack to Commander, but Commander hits an elbow strike right onto Matt Jackson. This is where he tried to run right to Commander, but he moved instantly out of the way. He goes for a springboard. He goes for a front flip springboard, getting ready to go for a wheelbarrow on Matt Jackson, but he didn't know Matt Jackson was tagged in. And this looked like he was about to successfully execute his move, but get hit with a double offense face buster. This is where Penta tried to help his partner out, but gets kicked right to the midsection. This is where Matt Jackson, this is where Nick Jackson got boosted up with his brother his big brother Matt Jackson, and he did a Hurricane Rana, sending Penta El Zio Miedo out of the ring, and also this is where Matt Jackson tried to go for attacking clothesline right onto to Commander, but he moved right out of the way. He hits face first right on the top turnbuckle pad onto the top left corner. This is which is the Young Bucks' corner. This is where Matt Jackson tried to go for a springboard splash into the ring, but he gets hits with an uppercut and a step up enziguri. This is where Matt Jackson tried to run right to Commander, but he gets flipped right out of the outside, hits face first right on the apron. This is where Commander tried to get the tag onto Penta, but he's like, before I do, I'm going to do this double spin around, dip, spin around, springboard Hurricane Rana, spinning Hurricane Rana right off the top rope, making Nick Jackson crashing back first right to the canvas. Right off the top rope. This is where he got the fans off their feet and started getting their attention and getting the crowd hyped up. This is where Commander goes for runs right to the ropes, which I still cannot comprehend how he can do this. And same with Penta. Like, I know they're luchadors. They do very incredible and insane stuff like this all the time. What if they're in America or Mexico? But he run right to the ropes. he flips right out and another hurricane run up and tossing him right onto his big brother, Matt Jackson. That's right, Matt Jackson. This is where he tags in Penta, which he was getting ready to go do a diving double dip on the ropes and do a crossbody right on the outside, which is the most comeback move in all sports entertainment. This is where he throws Matt Jackson, I believe, back in the ring. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where he ducks and hits a sling blade right onto him. This is where he runs from the outside and not suicide dive, do a rolling senton, a somersault senton, I should say, to Nick Jackson. Both men gets back up. This is where he tried to clothesline Penta, but he ducks, hit the sling blade like if he was either Seth Rollins or Finn Balor. This is where it goes right into the outside of the ring. This looked like he's about to hit his El Zio Miedo pump handle a driver, which he did so. It looked like he was about to get the victory, but Matt Jackson's brother got there in time, like before the referee can count the three. And then they rolled out of the ring out of exhaustion, like because he lost a little bit of air. This is where of oxygen, of course. This is where this is where Penta tags in Commander, thinking they could still win. Like with Commander going up to the top rope, try to go for his top rope finishing maneuver, which is the double. I mean, with this running double lindo run onto the ropes and do a springboard moonsault, but he gets caught in the air by Nick Jackson with a hip suplex, and then he flips him right over to a second hip suplex afterwards, and then he got back up for the second time, try to go for a triple, but this is where he caught the eye of Penta El Zio Miedo. He grabs him around his waist and hits a double hip suplex on both men, which both men were sent crashing down on the ring mat. Matt Jackson was still up. And this is where they try to go for their tag team fit. This is where his brother Nick Jackson was back in the match. He tagged him in. This is where they try to go for the double tombstone pile driver with Nick Jackson doing the double 450 splash and springboard maneuver. But this is where Commander flips out of it, pushes Matt Jackson right into Nick, like falling right off the ropes, barely hanging onto the apron. This is where Penta was like, that was my chance. And he took advantage. He kicks Nick Jackson into the midsection. He tried to go for the Zio Miedo pile driver right onto Nick Jackson, right off the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, which he did so, which his head bounces right off the hardest part of the ring, which looked really bad. This is where the Commander goes for the sit-in roll-up, which he nearly got, but the referee counted one, the referee counted two. But Matt Jackson, I'm keep getting him mixed up with his younger brother. He kicks out, legs up and shoulders up, like right before it even was a count of three. I was like, how in the living hell did he kick out of this maneuver? Like yeah, it was very insane. Like even for being like roll up like that and like again hitting him with a move like that, like it looks like it could be easy victory, but it didn't seem that easy. Like when he kicks out at the last second, this is where Penta try to pick him up and try to hit my signature move, along with Commander right on the top rope and try to go for the double, go for that running onto the rope springboard moonsault while Penta was getting ready to hit the Death Valley driver, but he did something more insanely amazing. He runs right on the ropes, but as he tried to go for the maneuver, he decided to change the plan and improvise. Dips right onto right off of Matt Jackson's back when he was on Penta's shoulders and hits a most incredibly amazing Canadian destroyer I've ever seen in pro wrestling. Like he did, like y'all guys need to check this out for real. It's a reason why this is the third match of the night, on my opinion. He hits the Canadian Destroyer right on to Nick Jackson. This is where he hits the El Pinto right onto Matt Jackson, which looks nearly similar to my signature move, which is the Assassin Valley Driver. But anyways, this is where he tried to go for the pinfall, but he got a 1, he got a 2, but this is where Matt Jackson kicks out at 2.999, double 9, triple 9, negative 0.1 away from being 3. Pinto was like, what the hell just happened? Did he just kick out of that? This is where he started arguing back and forth with Matt Jackson, which it was probably not the time of doing that, which because it's not going to make the situation any better regardless, like whether if this is a trick or not, like from the Young Bucks. And he was like, no. Like this may be your house, but this is my ring still. This is what he was telling Matt Jackson. He was like, you are double wrong on that. I don't say double. Like you were right on one thing, but you're wrong on the other thing. Like this is our house, but this is not your ring. Like this is my ring. Like no, it's not. Like Matt. Like yes, it is Penta. Like this is where you go back and forth. This is where Penta made Gunther envy again because he hit the chop for probably the 50th time of being in the AEW ring from this recent year. And this is where Matt Jackson hits a right hand because he did not want to get murked by Gunther or have anything to do with Gunther because, of course, they're the Young Bucks. Like, they don't want to have any associations with WWE at this time. But yeah, never say never about that. But this is where Penta hits a right hand back to Matt Jackson. This is where Matt Jackson answered back. This is where fans were cheering for. This is where fans were surprisingly booing the Young Bucks. Like even though they're about to do something sneaky and dirty in just a sec, like but everybody was booing them anyways and cheering for the favor of Penta, El Zero Miedo, and also Commander tonight. This is where Penta was like El Zero Miedo and pushed the hand maneuver onto Nick Jackson's face. This is where he tried to go for his running attack move. This is where he gets super kicked right on the target. This is where by Matt Jackson. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline, but both men try to go thinking the same thing. They thought of the same thing again, which was a double pump kick, which they hit each other face first, and it still got the same idea, like what Excalibur pointed out. This is where they try to go for a double super kick, but accidentally hit each other's cankles, I should say, like in the process, they're hurting them. And this is where Matt Jackson. This is where Matt Jackson hits the ankle on Penta El Zio Miedo. Like, but they both get kicked. This is where he tags him in. And yeah, this is where shenanigans happen. Like, and I smelled it right around the corner. Like after they hit each other's cankle. Like this is where he tags in Nick Jackson. He was like, "Okay, you can finish him off." This is where he hits a super kick right up to Penta. Commander tags himself back in this match because Penta fell right back into his corner. This is where he hits the step up Mr. Geary right into Nick Jackson when he was trying to come towards him. This is where Commander was like, "That was my chance." This is where the referee did not see this because he was worried about if Matt Jackson really did suffer an injury into this match, and he tried to go for a springboard crossbody, but he gets hit right into the family jewels if he doesn't have a family already. This is where he does the same with Penta El Zero Miedo, and then he goes for the super kick, and then he tags in his brother Matt Jackson in, and they did the BT. Or no, he didn't do a super kick. He took a page out of Chris Jericho's playbook, spins around, hits the back elbow, Judas effect, then tagged in his brother, BTE 1, 2, 3, got the win, and I believe this confirms their heel turn. And then so they can make this more of a personal feud with Jericho and Omega. And it seems like if they already know, they're going to be completely finished with the Don Callis family. But we still have to talk about that in just a moment. But what do you think of who's on your card or who's going to win on this Saturday's event in this tag team match between Omega and Jericho against Nick and Matt Jackson, which is known as the Young Bucks? Like, sound off in the comments below. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the next segment, which is an interview about with Lexi congratulating the Young Bucks. She was like, but however, it was in the dirtiest, it was in the most I would say dishonest way, I should say, to say the least. This is where Kenny Omega came in and shamed the Young Bucks, saying, "Hey, that's the Young Bucks of today, huh? You want to do something sneaky in order to get the victory? Like, you're almost worse than Don Callis." And also, and then I was like, "What's this version of the Young Bucks?" He was like, and this is where Matt Jackson confirmed in his statement to Kenny Omega, saying, "It's the best version of us, Kenny. Like, if you haven't noticed us like this, he's like, you keep talking about." He was like, "How did you got your success here?" Like, I think I remember. I think you also remember too, Omega. And he was like, "Yeah, let's keep it clean until we get to the pay per view. All right, boys." And he's like, "All right, like we don't have nothing to hide. Like, but like it, like it's not with you. Like, it's with Jericho, and you know that. That's what Nick Jackson told Kenny Omega." And he was like, "What?" And he was like we. And he's like, besides, you have your match tonight, like teaming with Jericho, like with your best friend Coda and his best friend Paul. Like this is gonna be the last time we see you two together in the ring, like until this Saturday when you have y'all's match against us, and to see who earns the rights of being number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships. He was like, and if we finish you off with when we beat you and Jericho, we can do all this elite thing again, and it'll be just the three of us again, like Omega and the Bucks. And then this is where Jericho steps in, and he was like dressed up into a suit, like if he was in the Street Fighter video game. And he was like, "We don't have no time to talk to these losers, Omega. We have to worry about our match up next, like against the Don Callis family." And then this is where. And he was like, we're gonna beat them, but right before we beat these two clowns this Saturday, and take away their rights of being number one contenders. Like, we'll see you then. Like, have a good night, kids. And then this is where Matt Jackson blew up, and he's like, "Don't ever call us freaking kids again." And he shoves the Jericho right from behind. This is where Kenny Omega holds him back, like, "Yo, what the hell's wrong with you?" And this is where Jericho tried to come in and try to go for a fight him off. This is where Jericho tried to fight the Young Bucks, but Kenny Omega was trying to hold Jericho back, and the Young Bucks break it up. He's like, "Yo, wait, like stop, save this for this Saturday." And then this is where. And then this is where Kenny Omega was like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, acting very immature. Like, you are like kids. Like, Jericho's right about you. Like, we just wanted to talk. Like you cannot sell this like grown men because you're not acting like it. Like that shows the immaturities into you." And then Jericho's like, "You have a problem with me, Nick and Matt? Like, Nick and Matt, like, yeah, come here and show it to my face." Which we do have the street fight coming up tonight, but yeah, that, but that's like in probably like less than a half an hour, from then. But we're gonna talk about that right after this match, which is coming up, which was the Guns taking on these enhancement talent guys, which they were basically just doing like they usually do, like every week, with them hitting fists, like the illegal man gets thrown on the outside. They get ready to hit them, and this was their most shortest match yet because after they beat him down, like and Austin Gunn throws the illegal guy out of the ring, they hit the legal guy with their tag team finisher move. I believe it's called, what's that? Three ten. Three Tim's Yuma, I believe. Three Tim's Yuma, that's what it's called. Which they got the 1, 2, 3, and they send their message to MJF on them beating him just like they did to these two jobbers and become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions by saying this right here, like with Colton Gunn starting saying like, "Hey Max, like." It was 2-on-2. Like imagine what's gonna happen on the pay-per-view when it's 2-on-1. And he was like your friends are gone. Like Adam Cole is gone. Those Ring of Honor titles are gonna be meant to be the with the Bullet Club Gold guns. And then this is where. And that's where he gave the microphone to his brother, Austin. He was spinning around and walking around arrogantly, taunting the fans with his arms waved out. And this is where he said his catchphrase, saying, "If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you, and that's guns up." But up next, we got a vignette of Wardlow still sending a message to Maxwell Jacob Freeman, which everybody says all over the wrestling internet, or wrestling internet community, being full proper of saying that, he's made a whole lot of enemies, in being AEW World Champion, whether if he mean it or not. There's so many, from the likes of Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Jay White, and just name it. Anybody else, and even that mystery guy that has the devil mask, whether if it's the Bastard Pack or even Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and his long-awaited return from 2 months ago since his suspension when he got into that backstage brawl with CM Punk, which caused CM Punk no longer being in All Elite Wrestling. But anyways, we got also. This is where we finally do get the street fight match with the Don Callis family taking on the team of Jericho and Omega, along with their former best friends from the other companies, with Jericho with Paul having Paul White teaming with him and Omega from their time of being friends since WWE and friendship, and then same with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi in New Japan Pro Wrestling into this 4-on-4 match with Don Callis' family of Brian Cage, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. But anyways, this is where we do have the match, with Jericho and Paul White dressing up as in the suit, if they were John Wick, with these 2 John Wick suits, with Big Show having the triple X large, I should say, yeah. But anyways, wearing his version of a triple X large version of John Wick's suit. And we also have Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi was dressed up as their usual ring gear as the Golden Elite side of this Golden Jet faction that they came up with because they formed this team ever since they lay out the final challenge against the Don Callis family. And then Justin Roberts introduced the former Big Show as No BS, which we all know what No BS stands for. No more. Basically what I just referred to him as the former Big Show. But yeah, he's now Paul White. He getting ready to fight the Don Callis family, with Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, starting to attack. What's his name? Start off with Jericho, and then. But Paul White, when Kyle Fletcher, Kyle Fletcher tried to go to Paul White, he gets knocked out right into the right when he tried to go for an attempt to attack the world's largest athlete, and this is where Paul White grabbed him around the neck, and then he choke slammed him right off the stage, right through the table onto the side. And I was like, wow, it's insane as hell. I feel bad for Kyle Fletcher, but he asked for that. And And then it looked like it was 1 down and 2 to go. This is where the Big Show went right towards not Big Show, Paul White. It's starting to sound like Jim Ross now, but anyway, this is where he went to Powerhouse Hobbs, and this is where Brian Cage grabs onto Kota Ibushi, throws him in the ring, and they start things into the ring. This is where Jericho was going back and forth with Konosuke Takeshita. Paul White went to the backstage towards the parking lot with the Powerhouse man. This is where Jericho was hitting what's his name, Konosuke Takeshita in the head with a basket, slamming his head like repeatedly in the process. This is where other fans start cheering for him. This is where Konosuke Takeshita tried to blindside attack him from behind when he got his back turned onto Konosuke, which was probably not the wisest decision. This is where Brian Cage tried to go for a running clothesline right onto Kota. This is where he gets hurt and Ronda by the best friend of Kenny Omega. This is where Konosuke Takeshita say like, no, not today. Instead, hit a minor boot right onto the face of Kota Ibushi. This is where he hits a right hand to Kota. This is where Kota's like, that's all you got? Like, I got hit with worse moves than that before. Like, I got hit with nails before. Like, nothing does not faze me. This is where Konosuke Takeshita hit the striking forearm right to the face. This is where Kota Ibushi hit the side-swiping roundhouse kick. This is where he tells his best friend Omega to come in the ring to double team this sucker. This is where they start hitting double chops. I was like, it looks like that Kenny Omega and both him and Kota wants to be added to the Gunther list now for hitting these deadly chops. Like maybe this is a reference challenge, perhaps. But anyways, this is where they start continuously hitting these chops, and this is where they double Irish whip. This is where they both did a double leapfrog, like in a row, like when they did a double Irish whip onto Konosuke Takeshita through the bottom corner ropes. This is where they hit double. This is where they hit double roundhouse kicks, 4 rounds, and then Kenny Omega runs right through the top corner ropes and hits a back leg drop right onto Konosuke Takeshita by catching his leg and doing a reverse famous stirrup right onto to Konosuke. This is where the Golden Lovers were on the ring, like doing the Golden Elite pose. This is where he was telling, and this is where Kenny Omega tells Kota Ibushi, he's like, "Come on, go, continue to beat him down and take him down out, like take him out, taking him out." And this is where Kota Ibushi's like, "Come on, Golden." Golden powers activate, and that's what they did with them. And that's where they which they did. They had a better idea where they did these springboard top rope moonsaults, like with with Kenny Omega hitting Konosuke Takeshita while Kota Ibushi got Brian Cage. That's who it was. Brian Cage on the other side, which was the left side. This is where Paul White got Powerhouse Hobbs. He slams him face first right into this car hood, like into the parking lot. This is where he hits a single big hand, like I believe, like I would say 6 inch. I'll say or 6 inches tall and like 5 inches wide of his hand, like, which is very big, looking like a modern day Andre the Giant. He chops his chest in, like, I'm surprised his chest did not explode, just like Kofi Kingston's. But anyway, this is where Kenny Omega hits a tray right into the face of Konosuke Takeshita. This is where Jericho was continuously using the basket, the red basket, as a weapon, like slamming the back right onto Brian Cage repeatedly. This is where he just tossed it on the side as soon as he got done. This is where he hits a big haluva. This is where Kenny Omega hits big haluva boot right onto Konosuke Takeshita, right through former Bears, and hit him back first right with this right onto this wooden plate. This is where we got Kenny Omega had a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat. And this is where he was trying to rake and grade Konosuke Takeshita's head and try to shut. But this is where this is where Takeshita started holding on to it, like, no, you're not gonna win, and hit him with a strike right into the midsection. This is where he tossed Kenny Omega right to this menu plate sign, like if it was a drive-through. This is where Jericho had had the face of the Street Fighter character right into his head, looking like if it was a mask, and it was like if he was cosplaying as him. Like, and this is where he throws Brian Cage right to Bears, but he gets run crash into this timekeeper's table, like that. He get countered by Jericho. Jericho countered him, and got thrown right into the timekeeper's area's table, their mini table. This is where Kota Ibushi was on a bicycle, like he was trying to ride on down to the ramp from the stage with this little toy sword that he had, looked like my nephew's sword that you saw on here before. He was hanging onto it and hit him with a chopping slice right onto I believe was Kyle Fletcher, was it? It was Kyle Fletcher, and then no, it wasn't Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, it was Kyle Fletcher. I'm right. He hit Kyle Fletcher, then Konosuke Takeshita, like when he got to the bottom corner of the ringside area, but he gets caught with a clothesline out of nowhere by Brian Cage, and as he made him flip right out off the bicycle. This is where we got Paul White had a forklift with both men on top of the wood with these right onto the wooden right onto this wooden materials like that was the forklift was carrying, and they were right on top of it. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs did the most insane thing of this match, like, and he lifted up Paul White, like lifted him up in midair and slammed him right onto the windshield of that exact same car that Paul White was slamming it. Powerhouse Hobbs' face in by bringing down the world's largest athlete and the world of professional wrestling's 7-foot whale. Like, he slammed the whale right onto the windshield. I was like, how did Powerhouse Hobbs do that? Like, what the hell? Like, and yeah, and I guess that's a rhyme now. Like, it nearly rhymes, even though this way, like the animal whale is WHALE. But anyways, he brought him down for the rest of the match. We had paramedics and security checking on the world's largest athlete. Hopefully he's not legitimately injured. Hopefully he's doing okay and he recovers from getting slammed right off the top of the forklift with them standing onto the wood. Yeah, that was stacked onto the forklift. Yeah, and when he got body slammed, but this is where he was on his way back into the ring. But this is where Konosuke Takeshita hit the bike, the exact same bike that Kota Ibushi was just riding on when he was hitting everybody with the sword. Like, he was hitting first Kenny Omega, then Chris Jericho, then he tried to go for Kota Ibushi. This is where he spins around like triple times the force and hits Kota Ibushi. He made him do a backflip as soon as he hits him with the bike, looking like if they were playing AEW Fight Forever, like hitting like a special move, like when you hit I believe X, like on Xbox, not X. Yeah, X on Xbox and Square on PlayStation. But anyway, this is where he tossed the bike right onto Kenny Omega. This is where he starts stomping onto the bike. This is where he picks up Kota Ibushi. This is where he tried to go for a suplex, but this is where, like, or even worse, a brain buster, I should say. Like, he hit a brain buster, bouncing his head in the middle of the bike, like his head connecting right to that very hard metal and chain materials into the bicycle. which I'm surprised that Kota Ibushi did not suffer a concussion. And this is where Brian Cage grabs Kenny Omega, brings him into the ringside area, forearming him right onto the former Bears. This is where the former Barry Barricade, if I don't know what exactly I'm saying, but anyways, they start fighting it out. This is where Kenny Omega managed to both him and Omega and Kota Ibushi brings down the big man, the machine, I should say. And also, like I said on my wrestling news video, I want to wish him a huge congratulations for him and his wife for his wife giving birth to their newborn son. But anyways, we got Konosuke Takeshita and Chris Jericho taking us to the backstage taking us backstage and also to the in the front entrance of the arena, like where the snack bar and the ticket stand was at, like in the metal detectors, like, and this is where Jericho, and then we're fighting each other, like, and this is where Jericho throws the top part of the trash can onto the head of Konosuke Takeshita. This is where Kyle Fletcher, we got I got this the camera back to the pointing the television camera back, pointing back to the ring arena with Kyle Fletcher had the picture frame, the wooden picture frame right into the ringside area with Brian Cage coming back, getting back up to fight both Kota and Kenny Omega, the Golden Elite. This is where Jericho had the ring of the trash can lid, looking like it fits Sonic's gigantic black ring, like that possibly would have made no, that's possible that turned Sonic evil. But anyways, but unfortunately Sonic wasn't here, even though they made a partnership with Sega. But anyways, a partnership sponsorship, and he hits him with the ring right around his head. This is where Jericho takes off his dress jacket and starts choking, wrapping it around Konosuke Takeshita's head, and then wrapping around his neck and choking him to death, like with fans watching it up front, like in the backstage in the front entrance, like where you can go to the snack bar and go to the snack bar and the restrooms, I should say, like where, and in the arenas, like where, like if you're a live fan in attendance, that's where. And also in the merchandise stand too, like they were fighting all around there. This is where Kyle Fletcher and Brian Cage was beaten down continuously. They're beat down onto Omega and Kota Ibushi in the ring. This is where Jericho Irish whips Konosuke Takeshita onto the wall near to the snack bar. This is where he counters and throw him instead. This is where Brian Cage and Kyle Fletcher got Kenny Omega into the ring, but this is where Kenny Omega tried to fight back, but there was nothing that he can do, like at least on his own, like because he tried to go for a fist full of punches, like to Kyle Fletcher's midsection. This is where Brian Cage grabbed him like in a chicken wing position, like of holding him down so he can let Kyle Fletcher to hit this punch right into his midsection. This is where they try to double team him right into the to this heavy plastic like wood. That probably hurts like. That hurts like sugar honey iced tea, like to say in a PG kind of way, even though AEW is not PG, TV PG. But anyways, we have they try to go for a double suplex, which they successfully did, which he hits back first right into this plastic crate, this blue plastic crates that they use at the grocery store. That's what it was, like this blue plastic hard like crate that they use, like they carry in like like cases of like soda pops on like like at a local grocery store, of course. They hit a double suplex on the back. I was like yeah, that's not gonna feel good. Like unless he takes a couple of painkillers tonight. But anyways, Kyle Fletcher goes for a pin to Kenny Omega, but but Aubrey Edwards only counted 2 even count, like because Kenny Omega soonly kicks out. This is where Kyle Fletcher pushed the blue crates away. This is where Kyle Fletcher, he got the bottle in hand, which I believe was like a beer bottle. Like he tried to hit it in the head of Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega kicks it out of his hand. This is where he hits an elbow right into the head of Brian Cage. This is where Konosuke Takeshita was continuing this fight onto Jericho, and he grabbed the fan's beer, a cup of beer in his hand, and drank, took a sip out of it, and spat on Jericho's face. This is where Kenny Omega hits a V trigger in the ring with Kyle Fletcher. This is where Brian Cage grabs onto the former AEW champion, but he flips right out of it, like landing on his feet. This is where Brian Cage tried to go for a clothesarm. Kenny Omega grabs them both around, grab his arms into a full Nelson position, hit him with the snap hit dragon. This is where Kenny Omega brought both men down. This is where he went back on his feet, and he was on his way of continuing his beatdown with Kyle Fletcher. That's who it was. And while Konosuke Takeshita was kneeing his head right onto the edge of that part of the stand, like onto the snack stand. Like this where Konosuke was putting his head right on there, and it was trying to smash Jericho's head, trying to make his head cave into the stand. Like, and this is where Kenny Omega grabbed the beer bottle. He's like, even though I don't drink, I'm going to beat them like if I'm in a bar fight. That's what he was looking like. That's what he was telling Brian Cage to get up. Like, I thought he was going to hit it to Kyle Fletcher, but I think he kind of fooled me there. Like, but this is where Kyle Fletcher hits him from behind, attacks him with an axe handle, hits him with a striking right hand. This is where he tried to run and try to hit a running attack move, which I don't get. Like, what's the point of trying to run an attack if you don't know what specific maneuver it's going to be? But he tried to do that, but he gets caught and got hit right in the head with the beer bottle, right in the head, like if it was TNA again. But this, like when he got hit in the head with the glass beer bottle, which made Kyle Fletcher's head cut wide open easily, because when you hit your opponent in the head with a beer bottle, it's not no joke. Like, not no fake blood, not nothing fake about that. Like, you're gonna be gushing out the red stuff. But anyway, this is where Brian Cage hits a clothesline, standing clothesline out of nowhere, which made Kenny Omega did a 360. Konosuke Takeshita also throw a bucket of popcorn right onto Jericho. This is where Kota Ibushi hits a missile dropkick on Brian Cage. This is where he went on Konosuke Takeshita went right onto the camera and said, "I'm going to destroy your precious Jericho." I was like, really? Like, did you? Can you come up with a better line than that? Like, I'm going to at least annihilate, or I am going to brutalize, or I am going to humiliate, or even I'll say, you don't have to even use the word murder. You can just use any word that's harmful, like, to your opponent, like, without using the K or M word. But anyways, this is where Konosuke Takeshita was standing onto this snack bar stand, and he went right on top of the refrigerator where they keep the cold drinks, like whether if it's like Bud Lights or water or soda pops or whatever on there. He was standing right on top of it. This is where he started playing around, because he started stomping onto the refrigerator, start running, trying to go for a axe handle on Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho grabs onto a fire extinguisher, blinding Konosuke Takeshita's eyes and starts spraying it directly right to his face, like melting his eyeballs in the process, like, and make sure he does not see. This is where Jericho hits the Judas effect afterwards, like when he got back up from getting sprayed with the fire extinguisher. Spin around, back elbow right into the head of Konosuke Takeshita. He was on his way back into the entrance. Back into the entrance, into the ring arena, but he fell right down to the floor. This is where we got Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi still fighting in this 2-on-2 situation with Kota Ibushi with Brian Cage and Kyle Fletcher, but they were double teaming Brian Cage right now. Right at the time. This is where Kenny Omega was like, no more dilly dallying anymore. We're gonna finish off Cage once and for all, and we're gonna do that with the golden elite trigger, the golden elite trigger, double golden elite trigger. This is where there's golden elite lovers, and this is where before they have a chance, they push Brian Cage out of the way because here comes Powerhouse Hobbs, which he finally made his way back into the arena, and he hit the double clothesline on both the elite lovers, or golden elite lovers, I should say. This is where Brian Cage was staring at Omega. He's like, oh, you are the big, you're the big star here, huh? I'm gonna make you into turn you into a small pebble when I get done with you. This is where he hits a world's strongest slam back first right onto Omega, dragging Omega right back first, while Kyle Fletcher was still recovering because he still have that bloody scar across his face from getting hit with the beer bottle. This is where he throws Omega right to the bottom left side with Brian Cage going right up onto the ropes, standing onto the bottom rope into the left side of the apron, trying to get Kenny Omega ready to do a suplex on the outside. But not only he suplexed him on the outside, but he suplexed him right where there was when there was two sets of tables set right where Brian Cage was trying to suplex aim Kenny Omega at. He suplexed him right onto the tables, crashing right down, making them go down, flipping right onto the corner. Oh my God, what the hell just happened? Yeah, this is insane. How in the hell did he just do that? Really? He just flipped him out. And I was thinking Omega's not getting up after that. After getting hit with that, and that's gonna be kind of unfortunate for the poor guy. He just hit him hard right into the two tables. But Brian Cage got more of the bumps. Got hit with the bumps more than just as much as Kenny Omega because he landed right into the middle of the table along with the cleaner. This is where Brian Cage have Kota Ibushi right onto the bottom side of the ropes. This is where he hits the double A spine buster, looking like he's about to get the victory. I was like, oh no, this cannot be. But luckily he did not get the victory because he still continued to do the beat down onto Kota Ibushi until Chris Jericho came out there and fight off Powerhouse Hobbs because he has plenty because he still have some flashbacks out of anger, of trying to get some revenge onto the big buff Black Powerhouse. This is where they start throwing fists on one another, with Jericho hitting a right strike, and then this is where Powerhouse Hobbs hit the strike of his own. And this is where they continue to do that until Omega and Kyle Fletcher got back in the ring. This is where he helps out Brian Cage and hits a dive right on the Omega, which he was back on his feet and he was going wild and crazy. And this is where he grabs Kota Ibushi right onto the apron on the right side. This is where he tried to go for his finishing try to go for his finishing maneuver or signature at least, but Kota Ibushi was counted out of it. This is where he tried to go for some kind of a power body slam right onto him, onto the on those piles of chairs, like onto these street fight styles of piles of chairs. But this is where Kyle Fletcher put him into like a tombstone pile driver position, which I don't understand why everybody's been doing this lately in 2023. But that's what Kyle Fletcher did, and he landed him head first. I was like I know earlier, like him getting hit with that brainbuster right onto the what was it? What was he getting? Got brainbuster on? I believe was I forget what exactly it was. Like I think it was on one I think it was on one set up steel chair when he did the brainbuster. I was like, if that was the last time he didn't got brainbuster on the first time, I know he getting concussed. Like I know this time he's definitely getting concussed. Like which I'm not sure because he at the same time did safely, but I wouldn't be surprised if it knocked out Kota Ibushi when he landed around those piles of chairs. And this is where the fans start chanting the holy S chants, like holy sugar honey iced tea, holy sugar honey iced tea. Like, and they weren't saying specifically sugar honey iced tea. They saying the words that stands for sugar honey iced, the initials. But anyways, they were chanting that holy shib. Which WWE, if it was WWE show, they would censor it out right now because they're trying to make it more family friendly. But yeah, I was like, what's up with wrestlers in 2023 using the tombstone pile driver like if it was just a clutchy move? Like, just because The Undertaker's retired doesn't mean you should use that move like over time. But anyways, this is where we got Kenny Omega hits a V trigger right on the Powerhouse Hobbs. Jericho hits the Judas effect right onto what's his name, Powerhouse Hobbs soon after. This is where Kenny. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs hanging on to the top corner of the ropes, like the top corner ropes, I should say. This is where Kenny Omega and Jericho had an idea. They tied up Powerhouse Hobbs and started duct taping his arms right on there so he won't do nothing about it. And this is where Powerhouse Hobbs started talking so much shit right onto Chris Jericho, saying like, "You can't do this to me, Chris Jericho." Like this is where trying to kick away from you. And this is where Powerhouse Hobbs is like, "Go ahead and do something. I dare you to do something." Jericho. This is where he duct tape his mouth shut because who wants to hear him talk at this time? Like we all had enough. This is where we all had enough to hear in his mouth. And this is where Kenny Omega makes sure it's taped to making sure it's sealed in very tight so he won't escape anyhow. But I make sure he wrapped the tape around his neck and his lower jaw and his mouth to make sure you don't say nothing when they do the beating onto the Powerhouse. And this is where Don Callis was with commentary saying, "This is unfair. This is true unfair. This is true unfair disadvantage for Powerhouse Will. Like they need to call off the match for doing this and give him an automatic disqualification." And the commentators reminded him this is no disqualification. This is a Street Fighter match, stipulated match, because you accepted the challenge, you and your family accepted the challenge, and they're gonna get what's coming to them. Of course, yeah, just because they just because and also they have the stipulated match into the Street Fighter match because of the sponsor of Sega. But anyway, this is where Kenny Omega grabbed on the steel chairs and drive-through signs, whacking him right to the head of Will Hobbs, and hit him with the steel chair right to Will Hobbs' ribs. And and hit him with another weapon, which I can't recall right now, but he hit him right to his head. And this is where Don Callis's hypocritical ass said, like, this is assault, a complete assault on my boy Will. I was like, well, y'all asked for it, like, so don't be taking it back when it's too late. But anyways, this is where Brian Cage hits a huge lariat right onto Kenny Omega. He hits a super kick, something that you will rarely see from a 300-pounder, right onto Chris Jericho. This is where Brian Cage hits a pump handle, like some kind of a pump handle flipping face buster driver right onto the Jericho. This is where he tried to go to Omega, hits his finishing move. Like, when he was trying to hit his finishing move on Omega, which Excalibur said, if he does this to Omega, he's done. And then this is where Don Callis was overconfident, saying, like, oh, it's over right here. After he hits this, it's done. Hey, Omega's done. Drill claw, that's what it's called. Whereas Omega rolled out of it. This is where he pushes him right face first right onto the ropes, like right onto the bottom side ropes. He bounced back from it, and Kenny Omega hits a V trigger back first. This is where Jericho hits Floyd. Jericho hits Brian Cage after he gets hit with the V trigger. He ran head first right between the ropes into the in and outside onto the apron. He gets hit with Floyd the baseball bat, Jericho's trusted handy baseball bat. Kenny Omega hits the Poison Rana right onto Brian Cage afterwards. And then this is where both Omega and Jericho was getting ready. This is where Kenny Omega hits the V trigger. This is where he not only hits the one V trigger right onto Brian Cage when he was hanging on to the top left corner with Powerhouse Will Hobbs, but he hits two of them. The second one to the Powerhouse Will Hobbs. This is where Kenny Omega picks up Brian Cage, which the first time I seen him do, he lifts up Brian Cage right up on his shoulders into the one-winged angel, slammed him right up back first, right into the ground, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and finally ended this feud with the Don Callis family once and for all, like they said they were going to do, with both Omega, Jericho, and Ibushi celebrating. Unfortunately, Paul White couldn't make it to the celebration at the end of the match because he took a very nasty and dangerous spot by getting power slammed by the powerhouse himself onto the windshield side of things. But what do you thought about this match? Like, do you thought it was well delivered, or do you think it could have been more better? Which I'm not sure if it could have gotten any better with this match being like, in general, like if it was some kind of a Mortal Kombat kind of like stipulated match. But anyways, yeah, I'll let you go. Let y'all be the judge of that in the comment section right down below. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on what ended the show, which was not Kenny Omega, which was MJF coming out in the ring and making his presence known and have a few things he needs to get off his chest. But what do you think about this match? I'm glad they ended this with Kenny Omega and Jericho winning, which is my number one prediction. Which I'm glad Team Golden Jets win, and they're on their way of facing the Young Bucks. And maybe, just maybe, and I have a prediction about this: Jericho and Omega will win, and we'll see them getting their opportunity for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And who knows, they might win them, which will be the second ever titles that Jericho will win overall in AEW, because he's a former AEW World Championship, which he haven't won that title in over 3 years, but he could be some kind of AEW championship, which is besides the World Heavyweight Championship itself, which he could have some championship gold, even though he don't need a championship just to make himself look, continue his star power as a pro wrestling superstar. But anyways, but what do y'all think about that matchup next after them beating the Don Callis family along with their former WWE and New Japan friends? Like, well, Kenny Omega's New Japan friend and Jericho's WWE friend, Paul White, the former Big Show. But anyways, we got MJF into the with him cutting a promo about. And then he was telling him like he'd been waking up every single breaking moment of making his dreams come into a reality. And he's proud to say that he made it to the mountaintop of professional wrestling, which the fans start cheering him coming up because that is their favorite scumbag. And then it's that matter of time, and that matter of time, like there's not gonna be no glimps and glands. Like you see, the era appears the very thing. It's taunting this moment. And as I look down upon this mountain that I'm in, and I look at every single direction, that I see men climbing with the only intentions that to shove me off the top of that tip top of the mountain. And he's like, I'm man enough to admit that I am honestly afraid that will happen. Like I am afraid that I could lose everything I worked for in the blink of an eye. And then, and most importantly, I'm gonna do to you people exactly what I did to Code the Acclaim. I'm afraid I'm gonna let you guys down. And the fans are like, oh no, you never let us down. Like, yeah, you may have did like plenty of fair share of bad stuff, but you changed from that. He's like, and then they're chanting like, you are their scumbag, like. I said you are their scumbag because that's because that's y'all scumbag. And they said, and they were asking, and they're chanting that he's their scumbag, like scumbag chants with their claps featuring into this chant. And then this is where he was like, so yeah, I'm afraid, like. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna willing to quit. Yeah, I'm afraid, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give a. I'm gonna just hand over my spot on that top of the mountain. Yeah, I may be afraid, but you better send the whole damn army to take me down. Get my ass to come down. That's what he said. Yeah. Whereas the fans start cheering because he's well over as this top tweener babyface, like that he's turned into ever since teaming with Adam Cole. And this is where he sends a message to Jay White. He's like, Jay White on November 18th at Full Gear, at the title that you not have earned. Like I have a chance to prove it before at Full Gear. Like I had a shot that I'm gonna take that spot on the top of the mountain. Like I think Jay. Like, I don't think you can. Like, as a matter of fact, like California, like you California crowd, like I don't think that you like. I don't think he's ready. Like, I think that y'all know that Jay White is not ready for the devil because he's not on the level of the devil. Because and then this is where he said this catchphrase along with his name, but we'll start off with his name. Say, because my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I am better than you, and you know it. And he's like, I also want to know something, this Jay, like, or was it Jay White or was it the devil? Like what he said. After he said his catchphrase, I'm better than you and you know it. Like, he's like, and a message to the man who stole my devil mask. Like you hired those goons I want to know something and you heed my words. I'm going to find out who exactly you are. And when I do, there will be hell to pay. And I was like, I feel bad for the sneaky undermasked coward who stole his mask because it probably will be hell to pay because they're definitely not on that level with this devil man himself. But we do get Jay White coming out. This is where he was like saying like you put a blind eye on these people, making them believe that it wasn't you, but I know damn well like that was you under that mask because I know how much of a chicken and a coward that you are. And it was like you're pretending to be the hero, Max, but that's not exactly who you are. Like you are the absolute, you always have been, and you always will be that villain. And my friend, like you're not fooling everybody, especially me, with the devil mask, distraction and all, like in the diversions, and, and whatever that's coming out. Like you told us the time to time again, you are the devil. Like that, you are the devil himself. He's like, no one's not on the level, Mister Maxwell. No, you're not the hero, Max. You're not these people's hero. Like you're not even their scumbag. Y'all claim that you all claim that you are. Fans are booing because they think Jay White's full of tofu and sugar honey iced tea. Because what MJF told him before. This is where Jay White also said. And it's like they're gonna drop you because they mean nothing to you, and you like because let's be honest, like they didn't mean nothing, like they mean nothing to you. That's what he said. It's like you didn't mean nothing to you because you haven't changed, and this is where MJF's like that's not true. Like you're full of lies. Like you're even worse than the thief who stole my devil mask. And he's like, this is where Jay White was like. He was like, you never change because you say that me and you are similar in a way. Well, brochacho, like, I guess I know you too. And I know that you know that I know that I'm speaking truth right now. And I am know that you know that the only days like your days as official being official AEW World Champion are numbered, and you know that I'm truly elite. You know that you are not, and then you know John better than you, and then the fans that they know that I am better than you, like, and you know that full gear, like you're going to breathe, or you're gonna breathe or bleed. I think he said you're gonna bleed out of the slit of the switchblade, and yeah, I got two words for you. And he's like, get him. And I was like, uh-oh, like, don't tell me, like, don't tell me he has Jay White and the guns right behind him, which that was the case. And this is where MJF at first was beating both of them up, hitting them with right strikes right on one another. Like, and this is where he started beating them down, like, until he turned around where Juice Robinson was at, and he had the phony I believe $15 Dynamite diamond ring that the cheap knockoff of the Dynamite diamond ring, I should say, like which was a $15 El Cheapo ring he got from TJ Maxx, and hit him with a right hand right into Maxwell's face, like knocking him down like clockwork, I should say. My bad for stuttering those words, but yeah, this is where Jay White came in, hits him with the Blade Runner, and stand up tall right on to the salt of the earth, which that's how AEW ended. Like that's how AEW ended. Like, and when Samoa Joe was watching on his television screen, he was like, man, like he should have accepted my offer of friendship because I would help him. I would easily help him out from being outnumbered. Like, but it looks like he will. MJF will have no choice but to lead friendship, or even Samoa Joe will feel sorry for the man and he will just help him out anyways of filling in for Adam Cole to defend the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But yeah, that's how AEW ended. I'll say it ended in a really good way, like about what's to come next for AEW Full Gear and what exactly could happen at the. It left us questioning on what's gonna happen. I should say, like what's gonna happen next, and we keep speculating and predicting on what's to come at the upcoming pay-per-view until the pay-per-view comes and see what's going to be revealed and what's going to be the results of the matches as well. Like for an example with like what leads up with the three-way match for the TBS Championship, the AEW World Championship, and also the tag team match with Jericho and Omega and the Young Bucks. And also Orange Cassidy and John Moxley, which I believe Orange Cassidy is going to win that match. I believe Jericho's going to win. Jericho and Omega is going to win the tag team match against the Young Bucks. We also have, we have Sky Blue will turn heel onto on Chris Statlander and not regain and dethrone her for the TBS Championship, like everybody else is saying. But everybody says that like if it was going to be a one-on-one match, like I did too. Like we all thought, but until we heard that it was going to be a three-way, and I think about like she's going to set too much of her mind onto Julia Hart, and that's going to be too much of a distraction, and that's going to throw Statlander off, and it's going to cost her TBS Championship. And we also I also think that MJF is going to retain both the AEW World Championship and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, with Samoa Joe possibly going to help him out, like whether if he feels bad for him or MJF asked to be his partner and replace Adam Cole because he's still recovering from his ankle surgery. But anyways, but yeah, what do you think? Who you think's gonna win these matches at AEW Full Gear this Saturday? Sound off in the comments below, and also like and subscribe and click the notification bell. What you thought about AEW Dynamite tonight in the latest edition, of tonight on November 15th, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll give tonight's AEW Dynamite a 4 out of 5 stars because it was a really great show. Like it was like if it was a mini pay-per-view, just to have us tune in for now until this Saturday, until the patrons who wants to order the pay-per-view of AEW Full Gear and see what's gonna happen onto the event. But which I gave you some of my predictions, and also I'm gonna give Adam Copeland and Sting and Darby Allin. Those are gonna be next to my prediction against Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus, which I believe there's nothing that's gonna give them their loss yet. Like they remain undefeated as a trio, like a 1-0, which they're gonna probably be 2-0 as a trio. Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland. That's not gonna break their winning streak as a trio. And same with Darby Allin and Sting as a tag team until Sting retires in March of 2024. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. How would y'all rate tonight's AEW Dynamite? How y'all enjoyed my my journalistic and recap of tonight's AEW Dynamite? Give me y'all's opinions in the comments below, and also subscribe, click the bell notifications if you are enjoying this video and my content in general. There's nothing that you can pay for. It's free, and if you decide to change your mind, you can always do that later and unsubscribe. But I would prefer not to do that. But it's a guaranteed either way you want it to be. But I would recommend you to subscribe if y'all enjoy the video, and share with your family and friends all over social media, whether it be in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and even WhatsApp and Telegram and Snapchat. And also follow me on all of my all my social medias, like at Super Ninja Austin and Super Ninja Austin, and then Instagram is I'll say on Snapchat and TikTok, it's just at Super Ninja Austin. And then this and this channel is on YouTube is Super Ninja Austin 213, and Twitter it's Super Ninja Aust, which is AUST1, Super Ninja Aust 1. And we also have and follow me on Telegram, which is at Super _Ninja _ Austin #1, and also and also the Instagram, which is at super underscore underscore ninja underscore Austin underscore 2024. Like, and also, yeah. This was I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the latest episode 126 of the SNA podcast, and I'm gonna be doing tomorrow's usual wrestling news video. Like, make sure you check that out, and also. This was the episode 126 of the AEW Dynamite Part 14. Yeah, again, this was pretty great. Like, this was very entertaining. It showed what should we expect and what would keep us questioned on what's going to happen at AEW Full Gear at this Saturday. And hopefully you guys will be watching Full Gear. Hopefully I'll watch it too. And if I do, and then I'm going to make a review out of it, like a last-minute review of AEW Full Gear on what exactly went down onto their pay-per-view. But yeah, hopefully y'all have a great Wednesday night. And I guess this is the end of my video. And I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. Good night.